Hi, I'm designer Jen Gallacher, and today we're going to create a wreath with a few key supplies. We're going to use an 8-inch foam wreath form. We're going to use some dark teal yarn. I have some felt leaves, and I have simply used a thin-lit die in the shape of a leaf, and I cut them out from a softer teal felt fabric. And then I have several of our cream, white, and gray flowers. Now you also need a glue gun to create this project, but these are the key supplies you need to get started, so go ahead and gather them and then I'll walk you through the tutorial. So I've cut a small piece of yarn just to show you how to get this wreath started. So what you want to do is you're going to have a front of the wreath and the back of the wreath, and right now it doesn't matter which side it is, but I'm going to use this piece right here. I'm going to start with some glue, and be careful not to hurt yourself or burn yourself. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to wrap the thread or yarn or ribbon, if you desire, around the wreath. And the key here is to get that yarn as tight as possible. And we're going to continue this all the way around. Now, because it's a wreath, you will probably need to pre-cut your yarn to do this, but because I didn't want to have a big piece of yarn sticking out and threading it in and out, I wanted to show you with a small piece. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of the wreath started. I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll keep moving with our project. So I have here a little bit of the last parts of the yarn that I pre-cut, and I just want to show you as I wrap it around, what I'm doing is I'm pulling that yarn towards the previous piece so that I get a nice tight wrap, and you can see that it starts to fill in this loop. And so you just continue with that technique of wrapping it around and then pulling it back so it's nice and taut so that you fill in as much of this wreath form as possible. So continue to do that for the entire wreath. So here is the wreath form wrapped with all of the yarn. Now you can see there's some imperfections here, and what I do is I try and plan so that my flowers are going to cover those imperfections. Now I only covered this wreath once. You could do it twice. It takes about half an hour to cover an 8-inch wreath rather, or if you move faster than I do, it takes a little less time. So it's up to you. But let's go ahead, and what I like to do is I start kind of figuring out the look of the wreath before I glue anything down. That way if I change my mind, I can easily do that. Now I'm going to cut some of these leaves so that they're single pieces so that I can kind of build my own. So you could also hand cut leaves if you want. It's totally up to you. But I'm just using some fabric scissors and trimming these down a little bit just to kind of build that up a little bit more. And mine is going to be a little bit symmetrical, meaning that the leaves are going to be somewhat similar. Now these Jillibean felt flowers actually come with adhesive on the back, but I may not end up using that adhesive. I'll probably glue them on. But this is great for kind of figuring out what I want my wreath to look like. And I want to play with some different textures, different colors. So I'll start kind of placing them on here. Just play with some different colors here. And we offer so many different colors of leaves and felt flowers that you can add or subtract as many as you want. I'll cut these down a little bit to see if I want additional leaves. Okay, so I think I have a basic feel here. Once I have that done, then I can come back in and I can start to glue them in. So I don't forget my placement. I place them down on my work surface, kind of in the order that I want it. We're going to use our trusty glue gun again. We'll add some glue just to the top part of these felt leaves so that before I stick them all the way down, I can make sure they're nice and adhered. So once I get this bottom part placed, then I can come back in and I can add some additional glue. And I'm only going to add glue to the part that is actually going to stick on my wreath. And if you wanted to, you could stitch these beforehand. I'm going to leave them as is. Come back on this side, do the same thing. Start with that bottom portion, glue that down. And then I can come back in and add some additional glue once I get my placement how I want. Again, don't burn your fingers. I'm using a high temp heat gun, but you could use whatever temperature you like. I just like the higher temperature. Okay, so I have my leaves on, and I'm kind of planning it so that the cluster is going to hang here. So that's why I have it this way. So again, you do have these pieces here. You can peel them off if you want, but you can also just add glue directly to that piece. You just want to smush them in there nice and tight. And you want them to kind of marry together. They're going to overlap slightly. Again, just a bunch of glue in the center of that. Mush it in. I love these colors. When I saw these colors at the warehouse, I knew that I wanted to do something just with the gray and the creams. I just had a feeling it would be really, really pretty. So, you can do monotone. You can do whatever works for you. I'm actually going to bring in one more cream. Maybe we'll move these a little bit. So once I get going, I'll kind of play around a little bit until I get exactly the look that I want. Now, once you get your placement how you want, one here, you'll want to go back and clean up all of those glue strings. So your glue gun always leaves a little bit. So this is nice and tightly packed, and I'll let it rest for a little bit so all that glue can set. But because these pieces were already done, it was really easy to add them to my wreath. So here you have a wreath that uses some yarn, some felt die cut leaves, and our felt flowers in a variety of cream and gray and white. And again, the wreath is 8 inches and it's perfect for a door hanging or a gift for a friend. Thank you for joining me for this Jillibean tutorial. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube videos so you don't miss out on any of our tutorial videos.